Hey you guys, it's Lauren. Welcome back. So in today's video, I wanted to share my currently most loved and my most used sunscreens. I have a lot of products in front of me and they each have their pros and their cons. So I wanted to share them all with you guys. We'll talk about whether or not they have a white cast, which ones work well under makeup. Some I've repurchased frequently on my own. Some have been sent to me, but these are all, I love them for different reasons. Some definitely have some cons to them. So I just wanted to do a little mini review of each of these. And I'm super excited because this video is sponsored by Kula. Kula, I've raved about a lot of their products in the past. I specifically use the white tea, SPF of 50. That was in my skincare routine, I think last year. And then their anti-aging face serum I talk about all the time. But I've been a big fan of them for a while. But they offered to send out their Sun Silk drops. And I immediately said yes to the sponsorship because they basically said I could give my honest feedback. They could talk about what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. So I figured, perfect, I'll do a whole SPF video. And I think I'm gonna call this my SPF favorites because I ended up really liking this sunscreen. So we'll get into that product, but first I wanted to talk about just the basics of SPF protection. So right now the FDA recommends that you should use at least an SPF of 15 and that you should apply it 15 minutes before sun exposure. And that goes for both physical sunscreens or mineral sunscreens and also chemical sunscreens. There's a big myth out there that you only need to apply chemical sunscreens before sun exposure, but it really takes some dry down time with mineral sunscreens to get that full SPF protection. So definitely give yourself some time before jumping out into the sun. And then as far as the amount goes, they actually recommend that you use a full 30 mLs or an ounce, or you can think of it as a shot glass full of sunscreen for your whole body. I know that sounds like a lot of sunscreen, but if you're just doing your face, you just need about 1/4 of a teaspoon. But you can't go overboard with sunscreen, so just make sure you're applying a nice thick layer. And for me, as far as SPF coverage, I always reach for at least an SPF of 30. I have 30s and 50s in front of me, but I remember this was about a year or two ago, I went to my dermatologist and she told me that think of SPF protection as on a linear grid, that if you're looking at, this is the line on a grid and you're going from an SPF of 4, it only jumps up slightly to an SPF of 15, but then when you get to 30, there's a significant incline. So it really kind of jumps exponentially before you get to 30. So I don't know, that always sticks in my mind. So I always reach for at least an SPF of 30, which this first sunscreen by Kula has an SPF of 30. This is their full spectrum 360 degrees sun silk drops. And the reason they call it a full spectrum SPF is because it includes blue light coverage as well. So we're learning more and more about blue light these days, but blue light is in our cell phones. It can be emitted from computer screens. And we actually have some data to show that it can contribute to some aging, like hyperpigmentation, some fine lines. There's not a ton of studies out there, but it's really cool to see that there's sunscreens like these that have that protection built in. This is also broad coverage, so it covers your UVB or your burning rays and your UVA or your aging rays. So full coverage from this. But the reason I love this so much, so when it comes to sunscreen, I'm all about texture. And this has the most beautiful formula. It comes out in like a milky, creamy, serum-like formula. It's nice and lightweight. It sinks really quickly into the skin. And it gives almost like a slight dew to the skin, which I really love. It makes me feel nice and hydrated. It makes me look hydrated. I just like that it gives that like youthful glow. There's no glitter flecks or anything like that in here, but it just gives that extra moisture and hydration. There's some great hydrators in here. We have safflower oil and also sodium hyaluronate. So some really good things to just keep your skin nice and moisturized. And I've also been loving this because it sits really well underneath makeup. It doesn't pill at all. It doesn't flake. There's absolutely no white cast and it shears out really nicely. It goes on nice and emollient. So it has a really nice formula. The only negative to this has a really strong sunscreeny smell. So if you're not a big fan of that, you might not enjoy the smell, but it dissipates really quickly. It doesn't bother me so much. And yeah, it's just a really nice sunscreen. I love the packaging as well. It has this nice dropper. So the packaging is great. And this is also free of the chemical sunscreens that are now banned in Hawaii. So this is safe for our coral reefs. So that's awesome as well. This has quickly become a favorite. And yeah, I've just really been liking this. Kula is sold at Sephora, Ulta, you can get it on Kula's website obviously, and also Nordstrom as well. So readily available and yeah, just the brand's awesome. And then moving on to one of my favorite mineral sunscreens. This is the Josie Maran Argan Daily Moisturizer SPF of 47. This is the tinted version. So a lot of people are leaning more towards mineral sunscreen these days because there was a recent study that came out that showed some chemicals in certain chemical sunscreens were found in study subjects' bloodstreams. Now I know that sounds kind of scary, but the FDA is not saying that these chemical sunscreens shouldn't be used. They're not being pulled from the shelves. It just means that further testing is needed. Now for me, I actually prefer a chemical sunscreen under makeup. I find that the formula is a lot lighter. They go on a lot more smoothly. They don't feel heavy on the skin. They don't leave a white cast. But there are certain physical sunscreens that I can use under makeup, and the Josie Maran is one of them. This is great. Oh my gosh. I can see why this gets so much hype. This is so highly rated on Sephora. There's just so many great things in here. It's just zinc oxide, titanium dioxide. Argan oil is really high up on the ingredient list, so it's going to give some nice moisturization to your skin. Your skin just looks so nice and glowy with this on. I just feel so hydrated. It's just such like, I don't know, a luxury texture. It feels almost like a serum like the Kula does, but this just feels a little heavier. If you're on the oily side, this might be a little too heavy for you, but with my dry skin, especially in the summer months, this just feels so great on the skin. It has a really peachy tint. Sometimes I love the tint, sometimes I don't love the tint, and it's when I'm on the fair side that I don't love it so much. It can leave almost like a foundation mask like on my face. I really have to make sure I blend it in, but if I have a slight tan, it looks really pretty, and it just really gives you like almost a sun-kissed glow instantly. So I really love that. I love that there is an SPF of 47 in here. This just feels great on the skin. It's just a great formula. It's nice and thin, and like I said, this works great under makeup. It doesn't pill. There's obviously no white cast because you have that peachy tint, so it's just a great product. I love this. And then another one I love under makeup and on its own, it's beautiful as well. The Volition Beauty Prismatic Luminizing Shield SPF of 50 gives the most beautiful, just luminizing effect. Just like the name says, it just makes your skin, again, so glowy. Can you tell there's a trend here? I like my glowy products. But this is cool because it has more of a pinky tint to it. But for some reason, this pinky sheen just looks so pretty on, I would think, any skin tone. It just almost acts as a highlighter, but you can use it on your bare skin all over the face, and it doesn't give too much of a glow. It's just, I don't know, it just makes your skin alive and refreshed. It's just so pretty. It feels super lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't pill under makeup. This also has licorice root in here, and there's a lot of studies that show that licorice root can even out your skin tone and brighten your skin tone. So I love that that's in here as well. Now, just keep in mind, this is super tiny. I was actually really surprised when I got this because I expected it to be a little bigger, but I really just use this on my face, and a little bit goes a long way, and it's just, it's a really nice formula. So I love this. One of my favorites for when I just want to glow. Like I said, it looks pretty on its own or under makeup, so it's just a great universal sunscreen. So this is another one of my favorites. And then another brand new discovery is this Supergoop sunscreen. This is their Unseen Sunscreen. This is an SPF of 40. This has broad spectrum coverage, and this is just so cool. It comes out in like a thick silicone gel texture, and the coolest thing about this, it actually fills in your pores and acts so well as a primer. And I actually enjoy using this before makeup because, like I said, it really does just smooth out my texture. It fills in my pores. It just makes for a nice, even, smooth base. This has the same consistency as the Smashbox Photo Focus Primer, I think is what that's called. So it has that thick silicone feel. If you don't like that feel, if you're more on the oily side, this might be a little too heavy feeling for you, but it doesn't feel like that heavy, cakey feel. It just feels, I don't know, it gives that nice hydrated feel. This is completely fragrance free. It's a chemical sunscreen, but there's absolutely no sting whatsoever. It just makes your skin feel and look amazing. It doesn't give like a glow or a tint or anything like that, but it gives almost like a satin-like finish. It looks pretty on its own or under makeup, but my favorite way to use this is under makeup. But this is just my favorite for the smoothing ability, and it feels great on the skin. So another one that I love so much. I can't get enough of this one. And then, oh my gosh, this, I quickly fell in love with this when I got this. Oh my gosh, there is just nothing like this out there. This is by Dear Claire's. This is a Korean skincare brand, and the name says it all in this. This is the Soft Airy UV Essence. Like, does that just not make you want to slather this all over your skin? And the formula is exactly how it sounds. It's almost like a creamy gel-like consistency that feels so airy and lightweight on the skin. I reach for this when I maybe forget a moisturizer in the morning and I need a sunscreen that I can feel good about just over applying, because this feels exactly truly like a moisturizer, and you can go crazy with this. You can apply so much of this product and it absorbs so nicely into the skin. It feels weightless, and it just feels like a moisturizer. It does not feel like a sunscreen. It does not have any kind of sunscreeny smell. I'm like speechless. I don't know how they got this formula as good as they did. It's just great. It's one of my favorite sunscreens. It's a chemical sunscreen, but again, it doesn't have that sting. It doesn't smell. It makes me want to try more Korean SPFs because this is just great. I love the lightweight feel. I love that it feels like a moisturizer. You would not know this is a sunscreen if you just pulled this out of like a jar of moisturizer. It's that good. This is great. And then another one of my favorite mineral sunscreens is by Bare Republic. This is an SPF of 30. I use this on my daughter, I use this on my face, my body. It's called a face lotion, but I use it all over. It feels great going on, and it actually has a very unusual consistency. When it dries down, it almost feels like, I don't know, like a powdery, velvety finish. It just feels so good on the skin. Now, the one thing about this, it does leave a slight white cast. It does dissipate pretty quickly, maybe within like, I don't know, a half hour or so, but I do get the slightest white cast to it. This looks horrible underneath makeup. I do not recommend this as a primer or before foundation. I tested this with my Born This Way by Too Faced foundation, which that foundation can look beautiful no matter how my skin is behaving, what primer I use. That foundation's just no fail for me, but with this, it makes it break up. It looks cakey. It's settled into my pores. So yeah, maybe just don't try this under makeup. But this lives in my beach bag for when I have a bare face because this really feels great on the skin. And if you're on the oily side, this would be great for you because it does dry down to that powdery feel. So it really does kind of absorb your oils on your face. It's not going to give you that heavy, greasy feel. So this is another great one. Another one that gets really high ratings on Ulta's website as well. I bought it, I think I saw the high ratings, but this is great. One of my favorites. Just don't wear it under makeup. But on a bare face, it's great. Love this. And then speaking of makeup or SPFs I use on top of makeup, I got this Color Science Brush On Sunscreen in an SPF of 50. I got this through Octoly. I've been testing this out for about a month, but this is a really cool product. It's the first brush on sunscreen I've tried. I like this because it's a nice touch-up product that I can use throughout the day. It takes down any oils in my T-zone, and I just like to know that maybe I'm getting a little more SPF coverage throughout the day. You're really getting the purest form of titanium dioxide and zinc oxide in here because in their normal forms they're actually available in powders. So I guess you're not slathering it on like you would a lotion, but you are getting a strong amount of SPF coverage in here. But I still really feel like I need to pack this on to get SPF coverage, and which is one reason why I hate the packaging of this. It's just so bad. I end up having to take out bristles from the center of it. The product is distributed from a netting in the middle, and the only way it comes out, I could not get any product to sprinkle out into my hands when I first tried this until I took out those extra bristles. But once you kind of work your way around the packaging, it's a really cool matte formula. It takes away any shininess, and I just love it as a touch-up product throughout the day. It's really cool. Let me know if you guys have tried any other powder sunscreens. I would love, why don't they make powder sunscreens in a compact formula? I just feel like that would be so much easier to get the product on your face than these brush-on formulas. But I just love the concept of these powdery sunscreens. I think it's so cool that you can touch up throughout the day. So speaking of touching up your makeup, they also have setting sprays available with SPF in them. So I have two in front of me, and these are the last two SPFs I'll be talking about. But the first one is also by Kula, which they sent out to me, but this is their makeup setting sunscreen spray in an SPF of 40. This has hyaluronic acid in here and sunflower oil, so it's really hydrating to the skin. It gives a nice dewy finish over your makeup. It really does set your makeup. I will say though, the sprayer is a little bit intense, so just make sure you're spraying it kind of far away, but it feels really nice. The smell, I think it has, is there juniper in here? Yeah, there's juniper berry, so it smells like a straight up gin and tonic, I'll say that. But it's refreshing, it feels good throughout the day, and it's really soothing on the skin. There's aloe in here, cucumber extract, so it's just a nice refresher throughout the day. And again, I love that I can touch up throughout the day and get that extra coverage and not worry about ruining my makeup. Now, I will say these setting sprays, I have another one here as well. This one is by Supergoop. This is their setting mist in an SPF of 50. This one is really great as well. But what I was saying with these setting sprays, I actually like them for when I'm at the beach and I have a bare face of makeup on, and they're just nice and convenient. You can spray them on and it's just a nice cooling experience when you're super hot sitting on the beach and you don't have to worry about slathering more lotion on your face. So I just love the idea of these. This one by Supergoop is available in this tiny little size. I think this is 12 bucks. So a great buy, awesome to have in your purse. Now this one has a nice lightweight mist. I really appreciate that. This I would say is a little less hydrating than the Kula one. So maybe if you're more on the drier side, go for the Kula one. If you're more on the oily side, go for the Supergoop one, because this is a little lighter and it doesn't feel as hydrating. The Kula one has some hydrators like I said, the sunflower oils in there, and then also the sodium hyaluronate. But this is just a nice refresher throughout the day. Nice to keep in your purse, and I love like the light mist. But yeah, I especially love them for a bare face if I'm at the pool or the beach, because they just cool you down and you're getting that SPF coverage as well. So love those, and that actually concludes all my favorite SPFs. So this video was really fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Share your favorite SPFs. I go through SPF like crazy now, so let me know. I know everybody raves about the Elta MD SPFs. I want to try the Drunk Elephant SPFs as well. They have the tinted version and the regular version. So I don't know, there's so many more out there that I want to try. So let me know your favorites, and thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys.